Welcome to the Nail Engineer, and today we're going to be doing Beth's Bath Bomb Mani, which is Dragmarbling and foiled mani. Also we're doing some Ombre, and these are the things that you're going to need to do it. Colour wise, let's run through them first. We've got this baby blue colour, artistic colour gloss, and it's called Graceful, and I do not recommend to get this. In fact, if I start to use baby blue more, I will be replacing this with another brand because it's horrid. We've got Madam Glam in Rose, and that's this candy pink. We have got Perfect White, which I'm using for my base on all of the bath bomb nails. We have got Light Lilac, which is used for the drag marbling. I'll be using a mixture of Babygirl and Shimmer All Over, and just so that you can see the colours. This is just for the little bits of like kind of the little glittery streaks like you often get with Lush Bath Bombs, and I wanted the glittery kind of finish, but obviously it's very pale and was going to be lost in the kind of bath bomb look, so hence the addition of this colour just to kind of beef it up a bit. And when you mix them together they look like my personal favourite Snow Fairy, so lush. And then we've got Love and Mercy, which is this grey metallic, which I'm just using as a base underneath the foil nail. And this was actually Beth's choice because she wanted that kind of like oil on water effect. And this foil is from Nail Stamping Queen, Sarah Richardson, aka Sarah R, aka the real Mrs. Grey. If you haven't checked out her Insta and YouTube, do it. So for the application of the foil, you're going to want some foil adhesive. Some foils will just pat onto the tacky layer of fresh out of the lamp nails. However, this oil spill is not one of those, unfortunately. So yeah, I've just got this crappy old wrap adhesive or foil adhesive that I've had forever. It's not particularly great, but it'll do for our purposes. And I've got this silicone wedge tool, which I just find is a nice way of pushing the foil down onto the nail and getting like a good coverage, maybe a bit more precise, and gets into those nooks and crannies than just using your thumb or a finger or whatever. But if you don't have one of these, you could use like a cotton bud, aka Q-tip. Finally, I think we've got this. And this is the thing that makes everything charmable. And I'm adding a bit of this, like say kind of half the quantity again, to all of the colours which I'll be decanting on the back of a stamping plate, just to make them spread into each other a little bit, so that I can basically pop them on the nail and then do minimal faffing with them to get them to kind of disperse into each other. So for that, you'll also need a small detail brush. This is my quadruple zero artist brush, but you could use a nail art brush if you wish. So let's get on with it. So we're going to do this set of bath bomb nails, and you can see here on Beth's thumb that we've got like a kind of, it looks like a dissolving bath bomb, which I'm just using the charming technique, or wet on wet, to produce this. So can you see how it's all like kind of swirling around there? And she's going to have another two of these nails here and here, and these are just painted up with the Madam Glam Perfect White. And this finger is going to be getting a little bit of the foil, so that is painted up with Madam Glam Love and Mercy. And then I've got the first coat on here of the Ombre, which is going to have the mermaid glitter over, which is the magpie opal. And I haven't been too careful to kind of blend it in. One, because the mermaid glitter will mask it, and two, because it's only the first coat and I don't want to like waste my time. But this just gives you an idea of the the finished look, except I've got lots of sticky stuff on that pop. Yay. So all I'm going to do now is we're going to put a second coat on of the ombre and give that a little bit of time to kind of like bleed into itself. And it's real easy. Just get a not very fully loaded brush and go down one side first. And with this one you can be quite kind of carefree. You don't have to like worry too much. It's when you put on the second colour that you've got to like faff a little bit, and just make sure that you obviously wrap half of the tip. So then we've got, oh, and that one I should mention is the light lilac. So then we'll get the rose, and with this one you've got to be a bit more careful, and I tend to just go around the edge first like that, and then kind of butt up, if that makes sense, and just kind of wiggle down the nail just so that I'm not getting too much cross contamination. And then when I'm sure I've got decent coverage, I can just swipe down the nail and then cap the free edge a little bit. And this should be opaque enough on the second coat to like get away with it as is. So let's move on to the bath bomb finger, and all I'm going to do is, it's just like the charm technique, I'm going to put my second coat of white on there, and not too generous, not too thin, just a nice kind of medium coat. And with Madam Glam, this is like a thicker coat of white than I've used with any other gel polish, because it just doesn't tend to wrinkle, and watch, it'll prove me wrong this time. So yeah, just a nice medium coat, and try not to catch your ombre nail, which I must mention is not finished. It's not the finished article yet, but I'm just leaving it there because while I'm doing the other nails, it will actually bleed into each other, the two colours, and that will cut my work down that I have to do quite significantly. So I've got my 1, 2, 3, 4 colours, which are actually a mix of like 5 colours, as I explained in the intro. So, and all of these are slackened off with a bit of my crappy old top coat because that makes them spread and charm. So all I'm literally going to do is I'll just do like one colour at a time, and you just get a little bit on a detail brush, and it's so easy and so effective. And you just basically want to deposit random blobs and squiggles on the nail, and after you've done a couple you just get a really good feeling for how much of each colour you need to use, and by the time you've done it a few times you don't have to kind of go back and put, oh, a little bit more of this colour, a little bit more of that colour. Just take care when you're doing this though that you don't want to make any of your blobs too thick, because you don't want to get any wrinkles. And I know that Madam Glam's very good for not wrinkling, but I don't want to tempt fate. So you can see that in quite a short period of time I've actually got more than half of the nail done, and I'm just working through it pretty quickly. And it doesn't matter if the colour is a little bit marbly on your brush as well, that'll just add to the effect. It's a nice kind of like simple messy effect. Like even people who can't do art, nail art, can absolutely do this. It's just really, really simple but quite effective. And you can see here the glittery one I put on at the end, just a little bit. It kind of reminds me of Lush Snow Fairy. It's that kind of colour, but just a little bit to like emulate that kind of glitter that you get. And what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be just letting that sit there on the nail while I do the other one, and just kind of spreading out, dispersing out like it does with charm, and then I'll come back. Okay, so I've put my blobs on the pinky now, and during that time, look how that has just smooshed all out. Unfortunately, it seems to have also picked up a little bit of fluff in the process, but if you're real careful, you can just kind of swipe it off, just like that. So, and then you can put your finger in it, yay! Don't worry though, you can fix that. So all you're going to do now is, if you feel like it needs it, sometimes it's kind of like charmed and spread out enough that you don't feel like you need to like mix it up anymore. Other times you just got to give it like a little zhuzh, just so it looks like your bath does when you put your bath bomb in and it's kind of all spread out. And it's as easy as that. You can zhuzh it as much or as little as you like, and I'll just show you on this nail now that's been nicely spreading out too. And you want to give your little detail brush just a little wipe off every now and again. But you can see I'm just doing like little kind of S's and taking it from one colour to another colour, just until I feel like it looks right. And then that'll go into cure. So since I managed to put Beth in before I'd blended the ombre on the other side, I'm just going to show you now. It's just really simple what I do, and I just kind of squiggle the join with like a little kind of detail brush and wiping off in between, and you just keep kind of like smooshing them from one side into the other until you've just kind of softened that line a bit. And you don't have to worry too much about it, because obviously you're going to be putting mermaid dust on there, so that's going to like blur things up a fair bit. And just blend it out just like that. So, and then you'll put that into cure, and then we'll put the mermaid dust on into the tacky layer. So Beth's ombre nail is all cured up now, and we are just going to pop some mermaid dust, which is magpie opal that I mentioned in the intro, and we're just going to pat that into the tacky layer, and it just gives a lovely sparkly shimmery effect, and not too much as well. I don't want to like wash out the colour, I just want to give like a nice sparkly sheen on there. And it's that simple, just pat it in to the tacky inhibition layer after it's cured, and then I'll be top coating this, and this nail will be done. Well, Beth is all done up and cured now. I've got matte top coat on the pinky, just like I've got on the thumb, and we've got a shiny swirly finger, and we've got double top coat over the mermaid glittered ombre fade. And now we're ready to do the foil nail. You can see there that I've got as even a layer as my skills can achieve. And then here's one I made earlier, and you can see that it's almost gone clear now. I've got a couple of areas just there on the nail that aren't quite clear. My best guess would be like a couple minutes, just to wait for it to go completely transparent. In my experience, this one is better left too long than not long enough, otherwise it'll just come off the nail like in a claggy mess. I'm also going to hedge my bets by using my little silicone chisel tool to really put good pressure down on the nail. And apologies if this looks shit, because it's really quite difficult to see what I'm doing because of the position that we're filming in, but it is looking like we're good to go. And my one piece of advice would be, until you see a clear window in that foil, do not pull off. No harm can be done by giving the nail a last like cursory swipe. You can't spoil it by doing that. You can only ensure that you have got full coverage, and when you pull off, just be nice and gentle And there you can see we've got our lovely oil slick kind of effect foil. So I'm just going to go away and do the other one and top coat them, and then we'll be back with the finished look. And here's the finished look. It's Beth's Bath Bomb Explosion Money, and you can see there, you can't really pick it up on the camera unless I kind of like tilt it that way. You can see that they're lovely and reflective, these foil nails. All in all, I think it's a really pretty look. And thank you so much to Beth for being my model. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed it, and I will see you next time.